Just a big shout out to Touchdown Digital for sponsoring this week's video.
Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all fighting fit and well. Today I want to talk to you about a subject that I think a lot of photographers that have been in photography for some time as an amateur, and they're thinking about turning professional. Now, that happens to quite a lot of people. A lot of people that I've known over the years have started out just as a hobby. They were recognised by family, friends, work colleagues, and things progressed from there for them. Now, if you've been into photography for some time and you might be just selling a few prints here or there a couple of times a year, that's okay. That's beautiful that you're able to make those sales. But to take the leap from being an amateur to a professional photographer where you earn a living from photography, no other side job, this is your full-time job, there is a lot of work to be done. There's a big gap between being a good amateur photographer up until being a professional, earning a living from pushing the shutter button. Now, according to the Professional Photographers Association, yes, there is an organisation, that organisation does exist. They class it as being 55% of your yearly annual income. If that is generated from taking photographs, well then you can be classed as a professional photographer. Because at the end of the day, professional photography is it's an unregulated industry. Plenty of people can call them professionals, or people can call themselves professional photographers, but are they really? A few years ago, or some time ago, I was a wedding photographer for 8 years. I had a wedding photography business for 8 years, and I sold that business to go into commercial photography, and that's where I am today. But if you're thinking about trying to get into the professional ranks and earning a living from your photography, which I know a lot of people do think about or even dream about, and we've all got to have dreams. But there's a few things you must consider. When you go from being an amateur photographer to a professional photographer, you have to start thinking as a business person. You have to know your costs, you have to know your market and who is going to, or what business will want your services. Are you going to specialise in things? Are you going to specialise just in weddings and weddings only? Corporate photography, such as headshots for CEOs of major companies. Catalogue photography, like commercial photography for leading retail chains, those brochures you get in letterboxes. You can specialise in that field. Portraiture, portraits of families, family portraits. You can also specialise in that. But if you want to earn a really, really good income from photography and make that so-called sea change from your normal day-to-day job where you get superannuation and holiday pay and sick pay and so forth, once you start working for yourself, you don't get that. So you have to know your costs so you can work out your marketing and where your costs are coming from and how much you need to charge for your services. That's one of the big steps. How do I charge? What do I know to charge clients? Now, for me personally, I hold workshops. Now, I have to take out public liability insurance. Now, as of 2021, I have $40 million in public liability insurance. Why? Because I need to be covered when I have people under my care in our workshops. If one of those clients or students falls over and breaks a leg or breaks an ankle, breaks an arm, or is knocked unconscious, something can happen, it always does happen, at least I'm protected. And the public liability insurance is a must. Whether you're taking people out under your control or you're working on somebody else's premises, say you break something, at least you're covered. So you need public liability insurance if you're going to do this properly. You need an ABN because you'll be paying tax. There's a lot into it. Now, this YouTube channel or YouTube segment here, or videos, will be sent to a company that manage my social media, such as my website, YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. I don't do that. I pay people to do that, and to do that I pull out the income of my photography pays for that. Because what happens is once you turn pro and you turn professional, as I said, you're thinking as a business person. You've got emails, you've got letters, you've got phone calls you've got to return, you've got to go out and do quotes. When do you get time to actually push the shutter button? So that's where I've had to employ a company that handles all the, what I call the sideline work. Notifications or inquiries come direct to me from this company that I employ to do the work for me. That way I can concentrate on the job at hand, and that's teaching people and holding workshops. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm in the commercial sector, photographing commercial projects for clients. So to make the change from the amateur ranks to professional ranks is a big challenge, and it's a big challenge for lots of people. Some people make it, some people don't. But if you've got a 9-to-5 job, you've got good superannuation, you're happy where you are, but you really like your photography and you think, oh, maybe one day I'd like to be a professional photographer. Well, I thought like that many years ago, and many years later, I managed to do it. So it takes time, takes planning, and you really got to sit down and think about what you want to do, because it's your future, it's your family's future when you make a drastic change like that. Like me, I've liked photography for many years, and I never thought I'd turn professional, but in the end I could see what was happening, and I could see people needed the services of a photographer, and that's how I started. These days, a bit more difficult. Everyone's got a mobile phone, so everyone's a photographer. And getting people to pay you what you're required for your services is quite difficult, because there are a lot of amateur photographers out there which are very good, but it seems like it's a race to the bottom. The cheapest man gets the job. Now, I don't operate like that. I charge a fair fee for a good service. So if you're thinking of switching over to become a professional photographer where you make at least 55% of your annual income from pushing the shutter button, you need to think of a lot of things like public liability insurance, marketing, who's going to handle the marketing for you, because you won't have time once you get started. You will need finances to get started, because you might have to upgrade a few things or buy extra equipment. So there's a lot to it, from just going from the amateur ranks to the professional ranks where you can earn a living. So basically you can do it, it can be done. It is a challenge, but if you're passionate about what you do and you have support or family support, then give it a go, because if you don't, somebody else will. So if you've got any comments or inquiries about that, or you're thinking about turning professional, you can contact me. I'll put the links in the bottom of this video. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, the bell next door, so you don't miss anything. So that's it from beginner to pro. If you're thinking about it, think long and hard and very strongly about it, because there's a lot you have to do to become professional in this world we call photography. So I hope you've taken something from that. That's it for another episode of Sniper Photography. As I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep smiling and keep shooting. Bye for now.